Hartley oscillator. One of the important questions which has been asked in paper continuously for 2 to 3 times is the Hartley oscillator for 10 to 15 marks. So basically how to write the answer we are going to discuss in this. First, starting with the Hartley oscillator definition. The definition of Hartley oscillator is it is basically a inductively coupled variable frequency oscillator used in high frequency oscillations. This is one of the type of LC coupled oscillator. So basically definition also states the same thing, that is it is inductively coupled variable frequency oscillator used in high frequency oscillation. The variable range of this particular oscillator is starting from 200 kilohertz to few gigahertz. It comprises of this tank circuit. This tank circuit is nothing but one tuning capacitor over here and two inductors used over here. Okay, starting with the next part, that is the circuit diagram and the construction. The next part you should explain, that is the circuit diagram and the construction. The construction is nothing but the physical parameter which are you able to see. This is circuit diagram. The construction is there is a NPN transistor connected in the C configuration. As you can see that emitter terminal is grounded. It is in C configuration to work as an amplifier. Hence it provides, this particular C amplifier provides 180 degree phase shift between the input and the output. So whenever you're connecting over here 0 degree, over here it will be receiving 180 degree out of phase. Then we are having R1 and R2 resistors, which are nothing but the biasing resistor. The RFC is nothing but a radio frequency choke, which provide isolation between the AC and the DC. So we're going to receive the AC signal over here, and the DC voltage will be provided from the VCC, that is the DC voltage. Okay, next part is now talking about the choke. The choke is basically used in two different type of parameters, that is the high frequency and the low frequency. So at basically the high frequency, the reactance produced across the choke is so high that it is treated as an open circuit. Okay, so talking about the DC condition, that is the normal condition, the reactants act as a zero, hence there is no problem for the DC, okay, across the capacitor. Next is the talking about, that is the capacitors. CC1 and CC2 are nothing but the coupling capacitors. The tank circuit output, the output of the tank circuit has been fed back to the CC2. Okay, next is CE, that is the bypass capacitor, and RE is nothing but the biasing resistor. Next is talking about the circuit diagram working. Okay, so starting with the working is that first parameter is whenever the DC voltage is given to the VCC. Okay, DC voltage is given, as it is oscillator, we are going to provide a DC voltage as a source to it, and the output voltage will be created as per accordingly. So basically we are going to provide DC supply has been given to the VCC over here, that has been given to the collector junction, that causes that DC is given to the collector junction, that causes the current to start increasing, over here increase. As you can see over here, the DC voltage is provided over here across the collector junction. The current will start flowing from this CC1 then to the capacitor towards this entire junction. Once it starts flowing to the capacitor over here, the capacitor starts charging from 0 to a certain voltage, that is the voltage across the capacitor start charging. So when it comes to its fully charged condition, what happens, it start discharging from this inductor. It will start discharging towards the inductor through L1 and L2 and start charging again. So once it discharge completely across L1 and L2, again it will this capacitor over here will start charging. So basically this cycle goes on repeat. This particular repeat cycle will causes a sine wave to be produced across the tank circuit. This sine wave is nothing but caused because of the small is formation because of the small alteration across it, and which will be given as an input to the base of this particular transistor across by using CC2 terminal. Okay, now the transistor Q2, next is, we can see over here, this is the sine wave given over here, and that will be given to the Q terminal. Now Q2 over here, as you can see over here, Q2 is nothing but a C configuration. So it takes the input from the tank circuit and inverts it and gives it across the output terminal. Once it inverts it, C configuration means what? Whatever sine wave, this is starting from 0 to like this. So whatever wave is produced because of the q transistor, that will be opposite. Okay, and this wave is produced by the tank circuit. It will again reverse because of the q circuit, but the q is also amplifier. So the function of the q used over here will be inversion as well as amplification. Okay, so that is one of the other point. Next point is that, talking about the inductor used in this circuit, this inductor, that is the mutual inductance L1 and L2, creates a feedback energy from the output back to the input. So basically, whatever part of the energy has been fed back from here to here, it is not the same energy what which capacitor has been charged, as well as some energy which inductor has stored also. So basically, it is acting as a feedback energy across the entire circuit. Okay, so this is nothing but the circuit diagram working. Okay, next parameter is expression of frequency. So this we have already covered. First of all, definition, we already covered the definition. Then okay, so here is a definition, then the circuit diagram, the working, you can see over here the working. Now talking about next is that this thing will give you around 5 marks, but to cover the other marks we need to write down the expression of the frequency. So as we know that we are in the tank circuit, as you know, in the tank circuit we are having total 3 parameters, that is 1, 2 and 3. So we'll be naming it over here x1, x2 and x3. x1 is equal to omega L1 inductor, x2 is equal to omega L2 inductor, x3 is equal to capacitor produced across it. So capacitor will have the reactance minus 1 upon omega C3, because the path will give negative reactance across it. Okay, so next thing is, as we know that x1 plus x2 plus x3 in the tank circuit is equal to 0, because of the loop gain to the real and the imaginary term is 0. Okay, so we'll be writing the same expression over here, x1, x2 and x3 is equal to 0. As this is negative part, we will be shifting this negative part towards the either side of the 0. So we'll get the expression as omega L1 plus L2 is equal to 1 upon omega C3. Okay, now omega will be brought together to omega square, and L1 and L2 will be brought to from numerator to the denominator portion. Then we'll be having omega is equal to, omega square has been removed to normal omega, and we'll be having square root across the denominator section. Okay, but as we know that omega is also termed as 2 pi f, and we need to derive the expression for the frequency. So f is equal will be stayed over here, 2 pi will be shifted downwards. So the expression will be 1 upon 2 pi root of L1 plus L2 plus bracket multiply by C3, that is expression of the frequency. So this will be covered, I think 2 to 3 marks will be given over here. Next is, whenever the Hartley question is been asked, along with this Hartley will be having the sum also. Okay, so this is, I will just revise it. x1, x2, x3 is nothing but the loop gain in the imaginary section. Then it will be produced over here. We will be shifting negative portion over here, this, then this. Okay, then we got this final option. Next is the sum, that is regarding the designing portion of the Hartley oscillator using output frequency to be 50 kilohertz. So the output frequency produced by the oscillator is 50 kilohertz. To create this particular thing, as we know that we have a 3 tank circuit over here, 3 parts in the tank circuit, that is L1, L2 and C. Okay, so as you know, frequency ka formula is equal to 1 upon 2 pi root of L1, L2 and C3. Okay, so as you can see it over here, this is the formula. Okay, but we need to assume that L1 and L2 are same, equal to L. Okay, so we produce it to be L plus L over here, so we got 2L over here. Okay, so we got 2L C3 1 upon 2 pi. Okay, next portion is that now we need to remove out the square root sign, so we need to make it f square is equal to 1 upon 8 pi square LC3. Okay, we need to assume that C3 sign, C3 is over here, so C3 is to be 0.01 microfarad, and the output frequency, whichever we need the frequency, that is should be 50 kilohertz square. Okay, 50 kilohertz square upon 1 upon 8 according to this. So we can calculate the value of L. L is constant. Okay, so we can get the value L is equal to this expression. So when you substitute all the values, remaining values over here, we'll be having inductor to be 0.5066. Next is, after removing the inductor value, we have inductor we do have the inductor value, we do have the capacitor assumed value, inductor ki value hai, capacitor ki value is already with us, we have the output frequency with us, but we need to find out the other parameters also. So to find out other parameter, that is by using DC biasing circuit, we going to have we need to assume the certain parameters like VE is equal to 3 volts, VCK is equal to 3 volts, and VCC is equal to 10 volts. So 10 volt VCC was provided over here with us. ICQ is equal to 1 milliamp, beta is equal to 50. All this above terms are need to be assumed first. Then we know that as per the formula, RE is equal to voltage upon the current. So voltage already we have assumed it to be 3 volts divided by current is equal to 1 milli. Will have 3 kilo ohm as the output resistance. Next is IB. IB is the current across the base. So it is nothing but ICQ, we already have it. So ICQ upon beta. ICQ is equal to beta IB. So according to formula, we'll get the value of IB also. Next is the current flowing across the resistance R1 will be the voltage VCC. So we'll be having the voltage VCC and the resistance, so we can find out the value of IR1 is equal to VCC multiplied by IB will give you the value of IR1, the current flowing across the R1 resistance is over here. VB, that is a voltage across the base terminal. VB is nothing but the VBE plus VE terminal. So we'll be having VB is equal to VB plus VE. So it is 3 plus 0.7, that is 3.7. Now talking about the voltage divider, that is R1 and R2. R2 is equal to voltage VB divided by the current across I2 terminal will give you the value of R2 resistance. Similarly, R1 is equal to the voltage VCC minus VB. VCC minus VB divided by R1 will give you the next parameter, that is 28.636 kilo ohm. So we got the value of R1 also by using this, R2 using this. So we need to assume this term first. We need to by heart this particular things, and then only you can able to find out the other DC analysis parameters. So this is the Hartley oscillator designing part. Talking about next is the advantages and disadvantages in the application. It is already written over here. You just need to read it out and the end.